but as you said, maybe everybody shouldn't be. So I think that's a good one.
That's true. That's true. I mean, but even if some people just aren't going to have the skills for it, aren't going to have the desire to do it, maybe they shouldn't do it. But if there's even a little interest in doing it, give it a try. Your patients are going to be listening. They already know what you sound like. They already know what you look like. What have you got to lose? So get out, share your deepest held beliefs in what chiropractic is, what it can do. You're in Europe treating somebody with a very life altering condition, based upon the foundations and your belief in what chiropractic can do for her. That needs to be shared. When you're back in your office, those kinds of principles are what you share with people listening to your broadcast. You don't share unless you're really big into toenails, you don't talk about how chiropractic can cure ingrown toenails, unless that's what your thing is, and then by all means go for it. But we're about removing subluxations, getting rid of the interferences between the nervous system and the rest of the body. If call yourself a chiropractor and you can't get excited about that, well, we need to have a different kind of conversation.
Right. And it's that idea that the message needs to get out. And if that message, and in this instance, we're talking about chiropractic, we want to get this message out, and we want to let other people know that there are other choices. There's other options in healthcare. There's other ways in which we can take better care of our bodies. And, who, if not chiropractors, who else is going to step forward? And that's really, like you said, if that's not enough to get your juices flowing and a fire lit under your butt, then I don't know what is. If you would, talk a little bit about maybe some of your more recent podcast. You talked about you worked with the other doctor,
Jason,
Dr. Jason. Now, what are you doing now? Kind of what's kind of planned for the future? What are you kind of looking at here with your podcast efforts?
Well, I want to continue that project because I'm really sold on what he's trying to do, which is bring chiropractors together, people that are passionate about what we do, bring them together to not be a do it my way type of thing, but more of a sharing is, hey, this is what I found in my market. So when he says, oh, that worked well in my market too, and you find out that one's in a major metropolitan area and one's in the middle of cornfields, if it worked for both of those markets, maybe I can try it. So it's more of a sharing, more of a gathering, if you will, of like-minded chiropractors to boost everyone in the group up to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. And eventually it's be people pulling down into the crab pot and pulling out the crabs when all the other crabs in the pot are trying to pull you back down. So it's an edification and for each other, but it's also an edification for our profession. That's what really excites me about the project that he and I are working on, rscproject.com. And it's just a really refreshing reintroduction into our profession.
That's exciting. And I actually how I found you was through Dr. Jason's website, and I found him through it wasn't that I was just searching around, but it's like you start to see interconnections. Now, I'll admit, since I've been doing more full-time web work and things like that, now that I'm traveling, I spend entirely way too much time online, and which is part of the challenge. Is like trying to keep the yin yang between all the content and absorbing and learning all this stuff, and yet producing it too. So,
absolutely,
finding you guys is great, and it's like so amazing that this technology exists that I can reach you on the other side of the world. We can have a conversation, and we can share that conversation with other chiropractors. And once you get past that initial fascination of the technology, and you start to understand, B.J. Palmer reached people with a broadcasting beacon. With chiropractic, with a chiropractic story and a chiropractic message. Obviously, there's a radio show and commercials and things like that. But the idea here is that now we have that ability right from our computer. We can reach our local audience of people. And with a podcasting show where you're doing this audio interaction with your patients, they can listen to it in their car or their iPod or whatever, they can share it with other people. And it's just, what did that cost? Well, it cost your time and maybe a little bit of understanding of technology, and it's not that involved. If you can, maybe talk a little bit about like the technology there. How did you integrate it? I mean, how are you integrating technology? How much did it cost you other than your time? And where are you at with it?
Well, the mic I'm using is $15 from Walmart. It's just something to pick up. I mean, podcasting is not a high quality sound, so you don't need the $3, $5, $600 mics that you would in a recording studio. Most computers come with some sort of recording software. I use one that's about, I think, $69 for the full package. It's called Rip Edit Burn. I also do other things with it, so it was just there. I already had it. And then to get the sound and stuff, the music behind the introduction and then the transitions in my show, I use a multi-track recording studio, which is $149 for the full suite, which you can have as many tracks as you want. Makes it a lot easy. But the free one, you can do 2 tracks. You can do some mixing, and you have to save it. So you can do it for very, very, very little money. The cost comes in the time.